Ciao Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve'S channel where of course it's all Juve all the time. I'm Alberto, it's October 17th and I've got all the latest news surrounding La Vecchia Signora, so we are going to get into all of it right now. Alright Juventini, friendly reminder to like the video and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Now before we get right into the news, I just want to remind everybody of something that took place this weekend and was the first opportunity for all of you to get more involved in the channel, alright, and that was the live call-ins, alright. So I ran the watch along for the Derby della Mole between Torino and Juventus, and at halftime I took the first two call-ins from two of our followers, and that was amazing stuff. So big thank you again going out to Jeremiah and Iman. All right, fantastic stuff. Now if you want to look to get involved, and we may be doing live call-in session shows moving forward, or even get involved on match day lives or the watch alongs, you're gonna need the number, and this is it. All right, so there is my WhatsApp number. It's on the screen right there, so make sure you take that. That is me personally, and I've had a great time meeting a lot of subscribers and supporters and just chatting Juventus and whatnot, but you're gonna need that to get more involved, so make sure that you jot that down. Now without further ado, let's get to the news. Okay, so we had the unfortunate incident that was the injury to Bremer during the Derby della Mole, and today he underwent his evaluation. He is going to be out for roughly around 20 days. Okay, so Bremer, that puts him close to around November 6th when Inter is the match that we will be playing. Okay, so Bremer out roughly around 20 days. Di Maria and Pogba back around the same time frame, and that is November 6th, the Derby d'Italia against Inter. Okay, as far as Chiesa, apparently Chiesa has made himself available for Friday's match against Empoli. However, what they are doing is taking a look at the possibility of him actually playing on Friday with the Primavera against Cagliari. So it is still undetermined if Federico Chiesa will be on that team list for Friday's match against Empoli. We wait, but the promising and positive is that he is extremely close to getting into some minutes for Juventus. So great stuff there. Now in terms of the rumor mill, let's get to the rumor mill. As far as Bonucci goes, there was some rumors coming out from some very weak sources, and we got into it on the podcast there post Derby della Mole. And there was rumors that he and Allegri were basically at each other again. You could believe it based on the history, based on what happened after Cardiff and whatnot. However, today, Romeo Gresti says that he has only heard of strong denials about the rumor of the rift between Bonucci and Allegri, and obviously Bonucci not starting in the Derby della Mole and Bonucci asking for his leave from Juve. Apparently, Romeo Gresti has only heard strong denials, and we even got into that on the podcast, just saying let's just wait until some credible sources come out with this one, because it was only weak ones and there was only about two of the sources. So there you have it, strong denials in terms of that. Continuing on with the rumor mill, apparently Depaul is basically at a boiling point with Atletico Madrid, and it doesn't look like they're going to continue on together, and he could be available with Juve interested. And don't forget, when he went to Atletico, Juventus was one of the teams that was interested. So this isn't something that's just crept up. Juve has followed Depaul, and of course he was in Serie A, and now it could come to fruition for Juventus. 35 million euros is the price tag apparently for Depaul. I want to get all of your thoughts on Rodrigo Depaul and how you would feel if that were to happen one day and he joins Juventus. How would you feel about Depaul? Now, in terms of the last little rumor is that apparently Allegri could be the next bench boss at PSG next season, with Galtier potentially being fired at season's end and whatnot. So there you go. Just rumor mills, everybody. Just rumor mills, everybody. Okay, but Allegri potentially PSG's next manager. In terms of Danilo, his contract talks for an extension are apparently underway. Now, this is funny because last week, amongst all the turmoil that was happening around Juventus and obviously the defeat to Maccabi, putting us one foot closer out of Champions League, basically it was said that all contract negotiations are on a complete hold and that everyone was being evaluated from here until obviously World Cup break and beyond, season's end. So this is a little bit interesting. Take it with a grain of salt. However, in terms of Danilo has really stepped up as a leader of this team, regardless of how many view him as far as quality goes. Nobody can question his effort, his determination, what he brings on the pitch, because he always gives you everything he has. And he has become a leader, and almost more of a leader than the guys that are actually wearing the armband. So there you have it. Captaincy, leadership. We got into a big discussion about that on the last podcast too. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. It was a great discussion. And we welcome Lou back to the mix, who's been missing for a little bit. So it was a good show. Check it out. Now, last couple tidbits are Vlahovic. There's a lot of Juventini nervous about Vlahovic, his future with Juve and what could happen. But keep in mind, right now in this moment in time, the reports circulating around Vlahovic are that Vlahovic is the center, the focal point of Juventus, and they spend a ton of extra time working on training with Vlahovic, and that's his touch, his runs, everything. And he is always the last to leave Contenassa. So Juve investing a lot of extra time, and they've obviously invested the financials in Vlahovic. He is the focal point. We've got to get everything rolling because we do not want to risk losing Vlahovic. So there you have it. Last, certainly not least, as we lead up to the match Friday against Empoli, obviously with Bremer being out, it is being reported that Gatti could be the one to finally get another call. We've only seen him for 180 minutes this season so far. So look for Gatti to get that call on Friday, all right? But don't be surprised if Max takes experience before. That's another discussion that we got into on the last podcast, and that was Max, and is he the right guy for the younger guys? Hey, that's your news break to today, October 17th. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll be back tomorrow with more daily updates. But you guys know the drill. Drop everything you think about all the news I gave you today in the comments section. All your questions, opinions, thoughts, drop them there, and I can't wait to mix it up with all of you. Till tomorrow, fino alla fine, forza Juve, ciao tutti.